Three things you can request from your credit card company. 1. Ask them to waive your annual or membership fees. If you're a good payer, they'll say yes. 2. Ask them to move your payment due date right after your salary date. This way, you'll have money available to pay off your debts. And 3. Ask them for a debt repayment plan. Especially if you're finding it hard to already pay your monthly dues, they can restructure your debt, give you lower interests, or they can give you an installment plan to pay off all your balance. Prepare for your child's education the moment that they are born. It's your duty as a parent to provide your child an education, so it makes sense to prepare for it as early as you can. The earlier you start, the smaller the amount that you need to regularly save and invest, because that small amount can add up, compound, and grow significantly through the years. And by the time you need the money for tuition, your child's education fund would be already secure. Teach your children about smart personal finance from day one and be a good example. Talk to your children about money starting from the earliest age. Explain to them the values of spending less than you earn and not getting yourself into debt. Even more than that, live those lessons in front of your children. Don't just talk about it, do it. Show them how it's done in your day-to-day actions. Show them that you follow your own advice, and they'll surely follow them too when they grow up. If you're experiencing financial difficulties, don't just immediately take out a loan or go into debt. Try to first look at your spending and see which costs you can eliminate or minimize. After that, think of ways on how you can earn extra income. You can start by selling some of the stuff that you don't use anymore. Hopefully, this will help you raise cash to solve your money problems. Remember to borrow money as your last option. When you invest in the stock market, be sure that you're ready to hold for the long term. How long? At least 10 years. The problem with stocks is that they tend to be very volatile with lots of short-term ups and downs. But for the long term, the right company will just continue to move up. Buy shares of a profitable and growing company in the stock market. Hold on, be patient, and wait for your money to grow. Buy an index fund with low fees and hold for the long term. An index fund allows you to own shares of different companies with just one single investment. And those are not just ordinary companies, but the biggest and leading companies in the country. An index fund is one of the top investments you should have for building your retirement fund. For long-term investing in the stock market, it's important that you buy shares of a company that has good growth potential. Not only should they be profitable now, but they should still have a lot of room for expansion and improvement in the coming years. When it comes to investing in the stock market, the price of the shares follow the profits of the company. Make global investments as part of your portfolio. Most people focus in the local market. They invest in Philippine stocks, Philippine funds, Philippine government bonds, and so on. That's fine, but it puts you at risk when the Philippine economy is weaker than the rest of the world. You should diversify at least a little and have some portion of your investments in an index fund made up of international stocks and other international investments, such as those in the US, Europe, and Asian markets. Invest in bonds for your short-term goals. Even for some of your extra cash, it's a good idea to have at least some of your money in safer things like the Philippine Retail Treasury Bonds or local bond funds. This investment is much less volatile than stocks and tend to just slowly rise in value consistently over time. One mistake that busy people make is that they don't have a clear plan on how they're going to eat throughout the week. This often leads to spontaneous and expensive restaurant meals, takeout, and convenience food. A bit of time spent on planning out meals for the week can drastically cut your food expenses because you can budget where to eat, or better yet, prepare your own meals at home instead. One tip to save money on food expenses is to plan your meals around what's going to be on sale in your favorite grocery or supermarket. Your grocery store flyer or supermarket newsletter will tell you all the items that are having a promo or on sale in the coming weeks. Use them to create your meal plan and Google for simple and tasty recipes that use those ingredients. Don't ever go shopping without a grocery list. If you don't need to buy anything, don't go shopping. If you need to buy stuff but you don't have a list, you might forget some, or worse, buy something impulsively that you don't need. A shopping list helps you stay focused and within budget, and it's an effective way to avoid impulse purchases. In the comments, people are asking how to invest in bonds, stocks, MP2, co-op, etc. You're asking where to start, how to start, paano ba mag-invest dyan? My answer is to be resourceful. There's a lot of companies where you can invest and they have different instructions and requirements. My tip is to start asking in your own bank. Most banks have the investments that I mentioned here, so be resourceful. Have the initiative to learn on your own and do research. If you're looking for something to do on a weekend that won't break your budget, then check out your community calendar. There could be an event that you'd find interesting, like a free concert or a free seminar. There could even be a local bazaar where you could participate and sell. This is a great way to learn more about your community. You can make a lot of new friends, as well as find activities which you can do for free or at a minimal cost. Find hobbies that don't have an expensive upkeep. A lot of hobbies will make you spend again and again. Painting, for example, requires buying new canvases and paints every so often. Playing the guitar, on the other hand, doesn't have that much upkeep, except maybe when you need to replace a string, which doesn't happen too often. So when it comes to hobbies, try to discover ones that have small upkeeps or none at all. It's great to have a hobby, but make sure it won't hurt your budget. Limit your exposure and try as much as you can to cut advertising out of your life. Minimize your time spent reading magazines, fast forward or skip through commercials, just scroll up and ignore sponsored posts on your social media timeline. It's hard to completely eliminate advertising in modern life, but the less you're exposed to it, the less temptation you have to spend your money on products or things that you don't need.